Hello, everybody, and welcome to Provider AWS, the biweekly meeting for Provider AWS. I am your moderator facilitator for today, Justin Santa Barbara. I work at Google. Today is April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2022. Happy April Fool's Day. A reminder, this meeting is being recorded and will be put on the internet, and to be mindful of our code of conduct. And we do have an agenda. Please do feel free to add items to it, including adding your name. I am looking for the chat thing and pasting it into chat right now, but it looks like my spell in there anyway. We will do our normal thing, I guess, of going through the sub-project updates. It doesn't look like we have any other agenda items that are sort of broader, but if there are, please do speak up. I don't see anyone new, but if anyone wants to introduce themselves or tell a funny April Fool's gag, please feel free. All right, let's go into the sub-projects. There are notes on CCM, kOps. Oh, and a pull request of note, so that's cool. Okay, so let's go through those in order, and then we'll talk in that order, and then we'll talk through the pull request of note. So CCM, is that?
So we merged this PR for a new controller, call it the tagging controller. Basically it was primarily to deal with issues that our EKS customers had with allocating their Kubernetes clusters to cost centers. So the problem with the tags that are applied, the new style tags that are applied, is that because of the way the key is formatted with the cluster name and the key, it causes issues with billing allocation for some reason. So this is kind of just a easy way to apply custom tags to nodes as it is right now, and it's pretty basic. It doesn't. We kind of avoided like delete tag cases, and the tags are provided through command line flags, so it doesn't, meet all tag munging requirements that people may have. But it is a simple, if I have a tag format that I want just applied to nodes as they're created, it does meet that use case. And it is disabled by default, so in kOps it's not going to start, unless you explicitly enable it in the controller's flag. And then the other one was just the 124 release is coming out soon. And that's it.
Awesome stuff. I don't know if anyone else has any comments. I had a question or two about the node thing. So it sounds like the node one is asynchronous, right? So there is a window, I guess, right, where they don't come up, they don't tagged it at instance creation time.
No, I mean, it's not a tag on create. Right? It's cool. Going to be, yeah, you're right, asynchronous.
And then the other one was, it's only nodes at this time, right? It's not, for example, volumes or load balancers or anything like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Cool, but cool stuff. I can see future PRs coming to like add that support. But yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone else? Anything else on CCM? Otherwise, we will go on to kOps. All right. Well, I can give the kOps update unless Peter, you want to jump in. Feel free to jump in and correct me or whatever. But I think we don't have a lot of sort of AWS particularly relevant news on kOps. I think in these 2 weeks, the big thing is the etcd 3.5 challenges, I guess. Our plan is basically to enable the recommended flag and force people onto the latest 3.5, and then the fixed 3.5 when it becomes available. But I don't think that's particularly specific to AWS. Any questions? Any interjections? Otherwise, we don't have anything on LBC and Carpenter unless someone wants to speak to those.
Pratik, got any Carpenter news?
No, sorry, no news from the Carpenter side. I'm not that involved with the project now.
Okay. Didn't know that.
No. No worries. And like, yeah, it's you know, we meet every 2 weeks, so there's not always going to be exciting fireworks like at CD3.5. So yes, it's fine. So we can go on to the pull requests of note section unless anyone else wants to bring up anything else. So it sounds like there is this
Yeah,
PR.
this is the same PR that we discussed a couple weeks ago. That's been now gone through, oh God, probably 20 revisions. I'm actually happy with how Logan has redone this particular feature. It was originally a fairly generic ARN-like matching feature added to the IAM Authenticator that would allow really overly broad flexibility in matching on ARNs. And when Nick, myself, Micah, Jyoti, and a few others had an internal review about it, brought up some security concerns, raised those back to the original contributor, Logan, and asked him to make a number of changes, including sort of restricting the scope of the PR so that it really just handles the SSO pain points that currently exist with IAM Authenticator, where because of the SSO generated session name role things, it's just a pain for operators to work with AWS SSO. So he went ahead and redid the PR, focused it very much on just solving that SSO use case, and ensuring that there's a valid AWS account ID, and that we have the permission set name that's specific to the SSO configuration. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. He also, one of the other things that we requested was that he squashed this small library that he had been importing in the original PR, just squash it into the IAM Authenticator PKG ARN or whatever, which he's done. And so I'm actually pretty happy with the latest revision. And I'd just like Nick, Micah, and Jyoti to take a look at it and see if it addresses the concerns that were raised in the previous security review.
Yeah, I'll take a look today. And just to kind of elaborate on what those concerns were, it was more of preventing user error, like preventing people from unintentionally
doing like
allowing
star.
Yeah, like all regions, all accounts. The original PR actually allowed for basically all regions, all accounts, all roles to access a cluster if they just put like a star in those parts of the ARN. So so I think this sounds good, and I'll take a look today.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful. It's great to see that PR moving forwards and sort of the collaboration. So that's great. Thank you. Any other PRs or anything that people want to talk about? I know, Nick, you pinged me on a PR, and we're going to update the ownership to expand the ownership of the AWS encryption provider.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Let's throw
I'm happy to
something
review the PRs, but yes, we can expand that as well.
I'm going to add that to the agenda real quick. Encryption provider owners. Yeah, it's like you and Micah are the only people who we were like, I can't remember who else was in there, but that would be nice. It would be a lot easier to not have to reach out to you if Micah's like on vacation or something, and Micah's not even all that responsive. So
yeah, and I think it's just like we're in multiple repos for a lot of these things, but I think we can sort of treat them as like the same ownership. So I don't think we necessarily require people to demonstrate ownership in each individual repo, right? We should be able to like cross-pollinate. Like we don't want to encourage repo. We don't want to encourage them on a repo just to avoid the owner's tree type thing. So yeah, I'm happy to do that, and I'm also happy to approve things generally. But yes, it wasn't the case that this was a deliberate restricted ownership thing. So
yeah, sounds good.
That is the end of our agenda. I don't know if there's any other topics people would like to bring up, any other PRs. Otherwise, people get 45 minutes of April foolery back. All right.
So
Well, happy.
sorry, one quick thing I wanted to share. This is not related to any of the projects that we discuss here, but with CNI. So it mostly impacts most of the projects. So one bug I had noticed while working on Carpenter and on other projects is some nodes, they take about like 2 to 3 minutes to become ready with CNI. And the reason was because the CNI IPAM-D was not ready. So I found out an issue where we were trying to connect to the API server, but it doesn't time out all the time. And it's just waiting to connect to the API server. And eventually the pod is killed because of health check. And then it restarts and then it reconnects. So it becomes healthy. And that can take about like 2 minutes. And the reason it can't connect for the first place is because that CNI pod was created before kubeproxy. So it was not able to connect to the API server, and then it just hangs there. But now I'm adding I added this PR to reconcile and retry after every second, so that if kubeproxy has already added the rules, it can reconnect immediately. So now the nodes will be ready in 30 seconds. So not
That's
related to
awesome.
this, any of the project, but it should impact like all, given all the nodes will be ready in a given time now.
So it was that the kproxy would put the rules down and
Yeah.
CNI would be unaware or would have been killed.
So yeah, because both of them are daemon sets. First, if kubeproxy is installed on the node, it adds the rules in the IP tables. And then after that, if CNI comes in, it has the rules and it can connect to the API server. But if it is the other way around, where CNI comes first, it cannot connect to the API server, and then kubeproxy comes in and it updates the rule. But in that case, CNI just waits for like 2 minutes and eventually the pod gets killed on the node. And then it restarts, and then because kubeproxy has already added those rules, it connects back.
Okay.
Nice.
And why does the...
Are you looking for reviews on this particular PR?
I got one comment yesterday from Yang, but yeah,
Yang.
if you guys want to share some feedback, it'll be good.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you want to add it to the agenda, that would be, there it is. Cool.
Thanks.
So that sounds like a nice find and fix. So thank you.
Thanks.
Any other cool last minute topics? I hope everyone is going to Valencia or thinking about it. And
I am.
Very cool. I'm leaning yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, that's some very positive responses. That's excellent. Excellent. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you, everyone, and see you all in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.